And hello, everyone, and welcome to Chuck Bushbeck Live. And we are honored and privileged to bring you Heart of a Champion, the show where individuals and groups can clearly make a difference in our lives. I'm your host, Chuck Bushbeck, with my producer, Joe Lee, at my side. Bella DiSilvestro has the night off. We have another great show for you tonight. My good friend from college also played for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns, and
Might have heard of him.
and was also in the the Pittsburgh Steelers front office. His name is Anthony Griggs, and I'd like to welcome him to the show now. Anthony, how are you?
Hey Chuck, what's going on?
I'm
Bushbeck. Haven't seen you in a while.
I'm doing great. What have you been up to?
Oh, some of this, well, if you know me, I've been up to something. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm at the schools. Our football season just ended. I'm coaching over at the high school.
Yeah.
And that didn't go as well as we wanted to, but we made the playoffs.
Okay.
So that was good. We lost in our second round, but it was good. So now have a little bit of free time before we start doing some other stuff.
But you're not like running into like burning buildings, rescuing kids and things like that. Like, you're
not yet.
I know. Okay. All right. Me and Anthony and I go way back. So we have a lot of banter we sometimes get into. So, but we're gonna talk about Anthony's career and the things that he's achieved in his life. And he was on our show a while ago, I guess maybe 2 years now before the pandemic hit, and we were talking about some of those things. But I want to go back, and this is about you and what you achieved in your career, and we want to hear some of the things that you did, some of your experiences that you had to go through to achieve what you have achieved in your life. So I want to start out in New Jersey. Well, actually, that's where you partly grew up. Can you go into your childhood and where you're from and what all that looked like?
Well, let's just start where I was born.
Let's
I
do
was
that.
born in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Okay.
I have no idea exactly where that is. I was born there. That's all I know. Father was in the Army, Fort Sill, I think it is over there. We lived over in Europe for a while.
He was a SEAL? I'm sorry, he was a SEAL?
Fort Sill.
Oh, okay.
Fort Sill. I don't know. I may be wrong.
I'm like, what? He's a SEAL?
No, yeah, my father.
All right.
I can't go into it. Some government security stuff. I can't. No, I was born in Oklahoma.
Okay. Good for you. All right. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Moving to New Jersey.
Yeah.
In Williamboro, small little suburban town there, and went to high school, got all the way through grade school, got to high school, graduated there. We had a strike my senior year, so I didn't have a lot of games. I was playing in football. And I was recruited by some schools, but I didn't even know what recruiting was, Chuck, tell you the truth. I thought recruiting was, I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I got to Villanova. Somehow I get to Villanova. I'm coming there with our quarterback, Joe Borderkevich.
Joe Alphabet. I remember him well.
Joe Alphabet. Couldn't pronounce his name, and I'm still having trouble.
You know what? We had, they put us in a room together. We did not get along right away. I'm just putting that out there right now. So,
same here.
I think you went to Kennedy High School in New Jersey.
John F. Kennedy High. No longer high school now. It's like community house, but
okay.
John F. Kennedy High, 78 graduate class of 78. It was a peaceful time. It was the best of times, but then it was good. It was really good, and I saw a lot of guys that I emulated and played with, and got a chance to have a good childhood with some people. The girl that I was, she played with the guys in the street. She played football, played all the sports. She ended up going to the Olympics. And Cindy Stinger, she was the best woman athlete I've ever seen growing up. And at that time, she was everything. So she went to the Olympics. I think she went to 4 of them playing handball. Yeah,
oh.
I never even heard of it, but handball. And her brother played at Temple, and we played against Temple when I was at Villanova.
Yeah.
And it was pretty interesting. But I think the biggest thing for me was just going to college and just realizing, like, I was only an hour away, and I had never been anywhere.
Yeah.
I had never been anywhere. I never had a car until later on. And I was up there, and guys had I felt like I was talking to guys who were just like older. These guys had cars. They had their own second car. They had lived from home. They living away from home. Some of the guys were even smoking on the team. I was like, what is going on? It was crazy. So it was an awakening. And then I met a guy from Boston, okay, who was even more enlightening to me. What's his name? Howie Long. Yeah, I think that was his name.
I've heard of him. And for those viewers that are listening in, Howie Long is now with Fox Sports. He was a former Oakland Raider, Hall of Famer, and just went big time out of Villanova. But I want to talk about. Obviously, you went to Villanova, and we were there together actually for 3 years until they dropped the program in 1981. You went on to Ohio State. I went down to East Carolina. You eventually went on to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cleveland Browns, and eventually into the front office of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I wanted to lay the backdrop for people that are listening in early because I want to take you back, and I want to pick your brain a little bit, if you don't mind.
What's left of it.
Right. I know. But you said you didn't know what's going. You always do this. You always kind of play, I don't know what I'm doing, and you just show up and you make things happen.
That's how I play football, too.
That's been your MO. I mean, you're like, I don't know what I was doing, but yeah, I got to the pros. Yeah, whatever.
Hey, what? Am I cut now? Is it? This it? You want the uniform back? Okay.
Are you one of those stories that I didn't make my high school team, and did you actually? I'm sure you were starter at linebacker, or were you a quarterback then? I don't even know.
I was a tight end and a linebacker at that time.
You were both two-way player.
Yeah, I was a two-way player. I was really a one-way, but they needed some bodies on offense, so I became a two-way player. And I think I was a punter. I think I was a punter at that time.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, I think I was a punter, or I held on kicks, or something that I did with the special teams.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew I didn't kick in field goals. Joe was doing that, as a matter of fact. Joe Borikevich.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I really look back and go, what was I thinking? I didn't have a clue as to even playing the game or training and stuff. My hero growing up was like Bruce Lee. That was my guy.
Bruce Lee, as in, aha, that guy.
Dragon, man.
Yeah.
Enter the Dragon.
Wow. Okay. Did you play other sports? I mean, was this football the only organized sport you played?
I played high school. I played track. I was on track team.
Okay.
I joined that in like my sophomore year, and that opened up a lot of things. And funny story with track was, so I go to Villanova, and they dropped the football program. I go to Ohio State for 1 year. And after that, I got drafted by the Eagles. The Eagles had a strike. So I went back to Villanova to finish my degree. I had some more to finish. Mm-hmm. And while I was at Villanova, after I had already got drafted by the Eagles, after I went through that one season, the track coach came up to me and said, hey, you got 1 year of eligibility left to track because you only were here for 3 years and they dropped the football program and you didn't finish up here. So you got 1 year of track. Didn't you throw the javelin in high school? I said, yeah. He said, well, you threw it pretty good. What'd you throw in high school? I said, in high school, I threw a 211. He said, you threw a 211? I said, yeah. He said, that might place in our Big East meet. We got a Big East meet in about a week. Would you be interested? I said, well, I come up here like 2 times a week and go to classes. I got to train. He goes, hey, just whatever you need. I'll get a uniform for it. Which size you wear? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I go out to the Big East meet, and they're like, Anthony Griggs. Wait, isn't there Anthony Griggs that plays for the Eagles? I'm like, yeah, that's me. He goes, how are you doing this? I said, I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm here. So I get like second place in this thing. Okay. I'm second place. They're like, wait a second. Now the competitors are like, wait, how are you able to do it? You're a professional athlete, but yet I said, well, if you don't tell, I'm not going to tell, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just here. And so that was pretty unique for me because I'm just waltzing around Villanova feeling that I'm just trying to finish up my degree. Yeah. And then somebody gets me still to compete in track. And that was pretty funny. Now, that was my thing then, just to try to do stuff like that. It was kind of interesting. And I was going to do it at Ohio State, but I ran out of eligibility.
I think what's very unique about you, and like I said, we go way back, and you have a way of just winding up in places. And I want to talk about how that happens. I mean, you just don't. I mean, you're going to Villanova, obviously, and we were teammates there. You get picked up by Ohio State, and that's another story which we're going to talk about. And then now you're with the Eagles, you're with the Browns, you're in the front office of the Steelers, and you come across as a guy like, I don't know how I was doing. I was just kind of mumbling in, and they asked me if I want to play. And when you were in high school, just keep you back just a little longer. When you showed up to the football team, did you know anything about what you were doing? Did you know what a playbook was?
I played a little bit in coming up in the 7th grade was the first year I started playing. Then I couldn't play in 8th grade. I was too heavy or something. And then in 9th grade, we weren't really with the high school team. We were like in our own little junior high school, and we practiced. And we had a pretty good junior high school team. And so I didn't know what position to really play. And so they saw me and they just started putting me in places. Okay, tight end, linebacker, whatever they needed places.
Right.
And I remember training with these guys. I'm going to go to the big school, the big high school now next year. And I wanted to train with these guys. So I'm training with them like the first week. And I'm like, man, these guys are humongous. You know, high school, these guys, I'm just in 9th grade. These guys are huge. And I remember looking around and they were bending over and they were tired and they were fatigued. They were laying out on the ground. And my thought was I don't want to look like that. I don't want to look that tired. That was my little 8th grade or 9th grade mentality. Just, I don't want to bend over no matter how tired I get. I don't want to bend over. That was my thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to bend over. So I didn't bend over anymore for that. And guys were like, oh, aren't you tired, Anthony? Aren't you beat? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm just like you guys. I'm tired just like you. And they was like, man, you never bend over. You're not taking a knee or anything? No, I'm going to try to stay up. I didn't have to tell them anything. I just was in my own mind. No, I'm not going to do it. The more you ask me, the stronger I became. Okay. So then I didn't do that again in high school. I didn't do it all throughout high school. Never bend over. That was my thing. Didn't do it in college. Didn't do it in the pros. So my thing was always to train and become like endurance wasn't going to be the factor of why I couldn't do something. Yeah. And I wasn't the biggest guy, as you probably know. Okay. And I know the standard of asking a kicker how big guys are, but I wasn't the biggest guy. Okay, just trust me on that.
with your, I mean, parents, relatives, who inspired you? Who taught you this way of playing? That we're gonna figure out. I'm not gonna get tired. I'm not gonna bend over. Where did that come from?
Well, I can say probably just some work ethic my dad showed and my mom showed, getting up, going to work every day. Both of them work. We came from school, just me and my sister. She's 2 years older than me. So coming home and we're home alone and I had to do dishes and chores and stuff. And sometimes I did and sometimes I didn't. And as I got older, I did more of doing it instead of just going out and play.
Yeah.
But I just remember I was always in that grit mode or grind mode of just sometimes like, even when I played, I just wanted to outlast and just be that outlast person, the person that outlasted and just see. And then most times it turned out good, but not so much a win, but it turned out pretty well for me. I work out or whatever. And so my workouts were really the thing. I went to, we'll get into it, but I went to Ohio State. I didn't have a car. I didn't have any mode of transportation except the buses that rolled around. So I walked everywhere. And I'd walk like a couple miles to get to like the training facility. And I'd be there for like a while because I didn't want to just get there for an hour and walk back.
Yeah.
So that was another motivator for me too. I went to Villanova and some guys had cars over at St. Mary's Hall on the outside of campus. And I walked everywhere there. So walking was my thing and it gave me like peace of mind. And I remember back then they had another show on called Kung Fu. Okay.
Remember
Kung Fu, David Carradine. Okay. There's my guy. Okay. And he walked everywhere across the sand in the desert. And, he'd have these other special skills like a monk. Okay. The Shaolin priest. Okay. So that kind of guided me in some of the hardship and stuff. So here I am. This is my own just little thinking, Chuck. Just bear with me.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. The martial arts, Bruce Lee and David Carradine, whatever. What was there a mental side of that, or was it just the physical side? Was there something about the mental side, locking in, using your opponent's energy against themselves, that type of thing. Was that a mental thing for you watching that? Well, what was the inspiration to watch, you know, kung fu movies?
Well, the kung fu movies was just really a young man who was taken in and had masters, and then he's older, and he was reflecting on his youth of how he came up. He was always reflecting on a moment in the temple where him and the master would be saying something.
Yeah.
And as I got older, I'm reflecting on times when I played or things that a coach said to me, or times when it was rough and I wanted to quit or lay down and get tired and just forget about it. And I remember going to Villanova. When I first got there, we had like a big lunch in the lunchroom, and I had never been from home. And I cried when my mother and my grandmother left me there. And we had like hot dogs or something, and I didn't want to eat. And the coach came over and said, "You want to go ahead and eat something. You got to eat something because we're going to just do some stuff this afternoon." And I got a little bit to eat and blah, blah, blah. So I think that the mental side of some of the martial arts, and I wasn't taking martial arts then at all. I knew some people who were doing some things, but I think it was the mental strength part of it, from what I saw, of just to just get yourself stronger mentally. Because the physical stuff I knew would be what is going to be something I can control a little bit more than I could the mental at that time in my life. I can lift, I can run, I can see the weights. I know how much I weigh. I know how much the weights are. But the mental, I just never knew what barriers or obstacles. And then all of a sudden things started happening. They dropped a football program. They dropped it. And I was content. And Chuck, I'll tell you right now, I was very content on staying at Villanova, not going anywhere, and just finishing out my years. That's when Nick Saban, who was at Ohio State then,
Yeah.
he was the defensive back, and he came and said, "Anthony, we'd love to have you come to Ohio State and finish out your 1 year of eligibility with us." And I was like, "I'm good. Thanks, Coach Saban. Coach Saban, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I'm going to stay here." The only thing that made me even consider it, I forgot who it was somebody on our team. Might have been Fitzpatrick. It might have been somebody said, "You may never have a chance to go to Ohio State. This is a big time program. You might want to check it out. I mean, you could play there."
Yeah.
I don't know if you play this year because they have people there. You're not coming there to be the savior, but you could probably play there. And I was like, I'm good here. It was a good run. I had a good fun playing football. And then I thought about saying, you know what? I'm going to go off the diving board. I'm going to try it. And I tried it. And I wasn't starting or anything there. You know the story. If I can tell people the story. I wasn't a starter there. And I didn't play until a guy got hurt, basically.
Yeah, well,
I got hurt. I go in the field.
Let's talk about that a little bit. And obviously, in 1981, Villanova dropped intercollegiate football for a number of different reasons, but we're not going to go into that. So everyone's flying all over the country. Did you have one team, Ohio State? It just happened to be the Ohio State, or was there other teams you said, no, I'm continuing my
team? Is there another team?
You like that, don't you?
Okay. Huh?
So Ohio State, we're off to Ohio State. We're leaving Villanova. But before we go to Ohio State, what were the things that you learned? Obviously, you were recruited to Villanova. What were the things you learned before you went to Ohio State at Villanova? Was there anyone that was influential? You mentioned Howie Long.
Dick Bettison, you remember head coach?
Yeah.
Dick Bettison was phenomenal. I saw a guy who had a family. I saw this in high school too. Coaches that had families, coaches that this meant something to them. Football did, but other things meant something to them too. They treated us nice. I saw another. Here I am at Ohio. Here I am at Villanova now, and Villanova. You see priests walking around. You see sisters walking around. I had a couple classes with priests. I just pretty much got finished in the 70s watching Kung Fu. I'm watching now the priest. I'm in Kung Fu land here. Okay. I'm talking with the priest. So in other sense, they're guiding some spiritual things in me. But at that time I was still young and didn't know, but it was being laid down in me about some things about not necessarily football or how to overcome this and that, but just relational stuff that I found it very rewarding. Yourself, things we did, Chuck. You know, your mom, my mom, doing stuff at the games. You know, families coming out for tailgating.
Oh yeah.
After the games, win or lose, how they were. It was very rewarding in that sense. Going to away games, and I remember the first time I got there, the first away game. The reason I was playing was because the two inside backers got kicked out of school or something, and I had to play. I was a freshman, and we go and stay at like the Sheraton in King of Prussia. We were at the hotel, and out the first. Wow, we have a meal in the hotel. Wow, this I couldn't believe we're in a hotel. Look at this bed. It's mine. It's whole bed. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Well,
3 years later, 3 years later, Chuck, we're meeting in the gym in the field house.
I remember
to see who's going to drive to the abandoned dorm where we had to sleep, and who's bringing the blanket. Or don't forget your pillows, guys.
Yeah,
that was a drop.
And those nasty blankets that itched you all night, and you didn't have a sheet.
Chuck Barkevich had his truck.
Well. Yeah, we were in the barracks. That was a little rough. We had fruit at night. They played a movie, whether it be a John Wayne movie or something or other, just to get our mind off the game. And everybody was like, "Okay, let's go with this." But you know, Villanova was Division I back then, so we were playing some good people. I mean, we got our butt kicked by Clemson, but we went up and played Maryland and Boston College, and I mean,
Cincinnati,
Navy. A lot of different, a lot of good teams. So it was the beginning for me anyway to see what high level ball was. And now you're off to Ohio State, and that's even another level up. Were you caught off guard about the level that Ohio State played at?
Yeah, to some extent, for sure. And it's right, like right now, it's in your face when you get there. And you get off that plane, or whenever you get to the training facility and you see it. Even in my visit, the visit that I had when I finally decided I'll take a look, I was like, what is this just for the football team? All these fields, all this weight equipment, this whole room. And I go out there and I visited. Okay, I'm coming. I get my name on the back of my uniform. I get high white socks. I'm coming. I'm not visiting anymore. Now I was visiting Duke. I had visited, I think, Rutgers at the time, some other school, but it's over. Yeah. It's over now. Yeah. I'm at Ohio State.
You remind me, because we were at East Carolina. You know, Greenville is not it's not a big metro, but decent sized area, and they're coming up in the Philly, and I just remember the kid on the bus. Wow, look at them skyscrapers. I mean, it was just the kid was caught like in the deer in the headlights. And it almost was like what your experience was, and it seems to be through your career. Like, wow, I'm here. You just seem to wind up places. But what I love is the story, and if you could tell it here, is you're done at Ohio State, and they're having, I guess what they call the Columbine. It wasn't really a Columbine. It was just people were running drills. And can you take us to that day that you didn't even think of it, I guess, the NFL. I don't know, but you tell the story.
Chuck, I'm at Ohio State. I'm playing with All-American. I'm playing with Art Schlichter. He's the Heisman Trophy candidate. I'm like, wow. I didn't know anything about his gambling and all that other stuff. But my point of it is that I'm playing with all these guys. And so at the end of the season, when we went to a bowl game, I had never been to a bowl game. We went to the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. And guys were like, oh, we only going to a bowl game. I'm disappointed. I was like, do you want your bag of gifts that you got? I'll take it. I was getting T-shirts, getting hats, and I was giving them to my friends and stuff back in Williamsboro, New Jersey. So any case, after the season, again, I'm good. It's over. I wasn't even thinking about NFL. Nobody's coming around. I didn't have no agent looking at me or deciding if I'm going to be here. The only person I knew had an agent was like Howie Long, who was like, wow, he's being recruited by the NFL. That's how I was thinking. So then I go to Ohio State. After the season is over, I'm walking through campus. Okay, the season's over by like 2 months. And I was still working out and everything else. And then another guy on the team goes, hey, Anthony, I think today or tomorrow or one of these, I think it's today, they're going to have a pro day for the seniors. I think it's for the seniors, and I'm a senior. And he said, you can probably go over there and just run for the pro scouts. I'm like, run for the pro scouts? What do you run? What do you mean? I didn't know. What do you mean run? He goes, no, they run and then they test them, I guess, and see if they're going to draft them. So I said, hey, okay, I'll test it. I'm good. I'm up for a challenge. I go over there. I walk over there because I don't have a car. I walk over there in my gray shorts, my gray top, whatever they gave me. I walk in, and there's a coach there, one of the coaches. Hey, AG, haven't seen you in a long time. How you been? I mean, good. I haven't done too much. How's school? Good. Hey, what are you doing over here, Anthony? I'm a senior, and I was told that I might be able to run for the pro scouts. Oh, Anthony, yeah. Well, it's not really that way. You can't just come over here and run. See, it's for all Americans that we have on the team. We have like 3 or 4 guys that the pros want to run today. So, we appreciate it, but you can watch them if you want to, Anthony. And I was content. Okay. I'll just watch. Okay. Can I watch? Yeah. Just be over here. I'm in my gray t-shirt, my gray shorts, and anything they gave me, I had on. Okay. And I look over there, and there's our 3 or 4 All-Americans in there, like Nike stuff, all colorful and stuff.
You're in your Bobos.
So another coach comes over, and he goes to the first coach. Hey, we're going to get started, and I think you're going to be doing the 40. And he looks at me. He goes, Anthony, hey, what's going on, AG? You here? What brought you over here? And the first coach goes, oh, he thought it was for All-American. He thought that anybody can run. All the seniors. He thought it was for all the seniors, and I had to tell him it was just for the All-Americans. And then the second coach goes, oh, yeah, AG, sorry about that. But he told you can watch, right? And I said, yeah, I'm just going to watch. And the second coach goes, well, he's walking away. He goes, hey, you know what? You're here. You want to run? You want to run? Because I guess he felt sorry for me. And he goes, because I was just sitting there, just standing around. He goes, and I was in my stuff. He goes, well, you can run. I said, nah, I'm good. Don't worry about it. He goes, nah, seriously, AG, we just add you to the list. I said, nah, there's just too much. He goes, no, AG, you can do it if you want to. I said, nah, I'm good. He's walking away. He asked me a 4th time. He says, are you sure? I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll run. So then he goes, excuse me, can I have everybody's attention, please? We're going to add Anthony Griggs to the list. So they add me to the list, and I'm like warming up in my grays. I'm just standing by myself, doing the crossover.
Doop.
Yeah. Everybody else is like, wait. So then they go, okay, Griggs up. I ran. So, the 40's over with, and I'm just like, okay, I did it. I don't know. They didn't tell me the time. So then after that, I got a chance to watch some of the other guys, and the pro scouts come over to me and they go, hey, we saw you run. What's your name again? Anthony Griggs. They said, what, were you at the combine? Are we at the, no, I didn't go to no combine. I wasn't there. Oh, and then the coach goes, oh, he's one of the transfers from Villanova. We have 4 of us go there. He's the only senior though, but he's one to transfer. He didn't play a lot, and so they go, well, can we get in touch with your agent and stuff? I was like, agent?
Great.
I don't have an agent. I'll give you the telephone number of my dorm room, because I wasn't living in every other senior had like a condo or apartment. I was totally like a freshman again. So come make of it. Okay, that was it. And I did a couple more tests when teams came to town because they asked me. And then come draft day, I'm going to class, bopping around, going to class. I come back to the room, and I'm just walking the room, and my roommate was a entomologist, guy that studied insects and stuff, and had like posters of insects on the walls and stuff. And I come in, I go, hey, what's going on? He goes, oh, nothing. Oh, AG, somebody called here. A Dick Vermeil, something. Dick, I said, Dick, he says he's a coach of Philadelphia, I think. I said, Dick Vermeil? He goes, yeah. Now I'm like, okay, somebody set me up. I'm from Philadelphia area. I'm from South Jersey. Dick Vermeil called me. Okay, here we go. And then all of a sudden I get a call back. Hey, how you doing, Anthony? This is Dick Vermeil. We're thinking to draft you in the 4th round. How do you feel about that? I'm like, I feel good. Yeah, draft me. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. I get off the phone. I'm like, this is crazy. Why are they doing this? Today is draft day. Calls me back. Anthony, we just picked you in the draft. It's about a half hour later. Pick you in the draft, 4th round. And I say, oh, in the 4th round, huh? Okay. I couldn't go in the 3rd, just playing. Could go in the 4th. Yeah, 4th round. Okay, 4th round. Yeah, we put you in the 4th round. My secretary is going to call you up to get you out here tomorrow because we would bring in all our draft choices. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm sitting there. The phone rings like minutes afterwards. Hi, Anthony. This is Dick Vermeil's secretary. We're trying to schedule you for a flight. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, they've gone all out with this. Okay. When is this? When am I supposed to go? Tomorrow. When can you go? When's your last class? And she's talking to me, and I'm like,
Did you really think this was a practical joke still continuing?
yeah,
Did
yeah.
you
Still
really?
continue. So then the more she talked, the more she was asking me, and then she confirmed some stuff, confirmed number and stuff, and I was like, excuse me, you're Dick Vermeil's secretary? She goes, yes, you were picked in the 4th round. I have to get you out here as part of so I got to call the draft choices to get them all out here. I got to get their arrangements made. And we just want to know blah, 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 blah. I said, so this is the Philadelphia Eagles? That was really Dick Vermeil that called? And she goes, it probably was. If he called you, that was him. So I'm coming out tomorrow on this plane. She must have thought I was like, you never been on a plane or something. So basically I get out there and I call my mother right after that call. And my mother's like, I say, Mom, I'm coming home tomorrow. She goes, what happened? What's going on out there? Oh, what did you do? I said, no, I'm coming home. I got drafted by the Eagles. She goes, get out of here. Get out of here. You didn't get drafted by no Eagles or whatever. So I come home and I'm sitting there with the draft choices and we're looking at number 1, 2, 3, me, 4, 5. They had 12 rounds back then. I was 4th. And I'm just sitting there, just sitting in the chair, just bopping. When's lunch? When do we eat? What is this? But the guys are looking at me and like, who's that? I can tell them a couple guys, they're like, excuse me. Hey, what's your name? Anthony Griggs. Hey, Anthony, you at Ohio State? Yeah. We didn't see you at the All Big Ten banquet. I wasn't All Big Ten. Oh, okay, no problem. But did you go to the All American banquet? Were you an All American? No. They were like, who? How'd you get here? But I was at class, and then they had the pro day, and I went over there and ran. You ran what? I don't even know what the time was. Hey, do you know when we're having lunch? I was just asking them questions like that, and that's how it was. That's all it was. And then, bopping around.
God, it makes it sound like a Rain Man experience or something.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So that's the same way. And so that's what it was with. And so I'm back in Philadelphia, which is the home team from where I grew up, from John F. Kennedy High School, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I'm still hanging out with my friends that I grew up with and everything else. So it was a joyous time. Went to Villanova, as I said, and got that track experience and people. And I went back. As a matter of fact, they had a strike in the football year. My first year in the league, they had a football strike.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I went back to my high school and I was doing substitute teaching. I did substitute teaching while I had the strike. I'm in the school. So they're like, hey, like you work out and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I do a little bit. They go, what's your name? And I put my name up on the board and stuff. And they go, Mr. Griggs, hey, are you related to that Griggs they drafted last year? I'm like, yeah, I am. They go, well, wait. I said, I don't want to get into it right now. It's just this, So I was talking to students that way. And the other ones, people who knew me, like I might have went to school with their brothers and sisters, they knew. Yeah. They were like in class going, this is him. This is Anthony Griggs. He's the guy that's drafting. And everybody's like, well, what's he doing? What's he doing here? I'm substitute teaching. We're going to do history. Just do what the teacher said. So it just couldn't click. 4 years earlier, I was in high school, or 4 or 5 years earlier, I was in high school. And now I'm with the teachers who were teaching me. I'm in the faculty lounge. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm in the faculty. It was crazy.
Well, I've heard that you tell it better every time you come on.
I don't know if I tell it better.
No, I think you do. There's a couple extra things in there that I didn't know happened.
I laugh at it the same way.
So you're drafted by the Eagles. You played for the Cleveland Browns, because I had to move along forward. So I want to get to the person that Anthony Griggs is. You're done with the Browns, and you somehow wind up with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the front office. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I met Bill Cowher when I was with the Philadelphia Eagles. He had came in. He was with the Cleveland Browns. He got traded to Cleveland.
He's the
I mean,
one his
got traded
mouth
to
kept
Philadelphia.
moving all over the place.
Yeah. And so I met him in the locker room. Hey, how you doing? I'm Anthony Griggs. Hi, I'm Bill Cowher. Okay, cool. And then we were on the same special teams. Me and Bill Cowher were, and this is something that not too many people know. We were on the same special teams, the kickoff return team. You know about that. Kicker kicks the ball. We got to return the ball. I was on the front line. He was back there in the wedge when they had it back then. Well, I missed my block, and I came to the sidelines, and I hear this, hey, Cowher's down, Cowher's down. Somebody just came free and just crushed his legs. And in my mind, I'm like, that could be, I don't know. I ain't gonna worry about it right now. It's a game day. So I come into the Eagles locker room, and nobody was in there. And you remember Frank Gantz.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
ever hear
Special
him?
teams, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Frank Gantz.
Yeah.
So he goes, hey, AG, you got a moment? Can you come here real quick? I'm like, sure. Oh, I'm missing a meeting or something. Am I late for a meeting? I go into the room. It's just him and I in the room. He has, get those lights for me one time. Could you please? He gets the lights. He runs the film. It's the play that I missed the block and crushed Bill Cowher. He just looks, he's standing right next to the wall that the projector is shining on, looking straight up at the wall, looking down at me, at the wall, looking down, doesn't say a word, up at the wall, look at me. He says, put the lights on, please. He looks at me straight in my eye and goes, that happens again. You're not going to be here. You understand? Next week, you won't be here. Thank you, sir. I walked out.
Oh, God.
The players see me, they go, hey, gee, we missed a meeting. Are we late for me? I said, no, you're good. You're good. That was another, again, as I say, Kung Fu, man. Another master.
Yeah. I want to talk about that before we let you go. I know you got so many things to do. So I want to, all through your career, and even today, I know your AG 360 is a big thing for you and the stuff that you do, but it's about the mental side. Because of this show, is we the people that watch this, they're trying to understand, how do I become a champion? What makes a champion? I want to first, I know the physical rules that you follow, okay? This is to get you where you got to get to. What's the mental side of the game? What is that about, and how do people use their mental side to get to where they want to? And I'm going to go a little bit down the rabbit hole here, okay? So it seems to me that you're kind of just showing up in different places. You have a great temperament about you. You got a great work ethic. Is the universe responding to you in those positive emotions? I never see any negativity from you, and even when playing with you, other than I don't know, missed a tackle, whatever. I don't remember that ever happening. But do you think the universe supports the mindset of Anthony Griggs? Give me your feedback on your kung fu approach to this.
It does, Chuck. A lot of it, as you get older, time goes on and your body is just your body. But you have to transcend that, because a lot of what we see, a lot of what we are interpreting is on a physical level, and there's a mental and there's an emotional and even a spiritual level to a lot of things that we do not necessarily interpret. But to be the champions, I've incorporated, and I've been able to teach, I've been able to put in programs, I've been able to condense all this that I've said to you up to this point, all that you've known about me and all the other things. That call it life is a sport, and you can win it. It just is your champions. You want to be a champion. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter what line of work you're in. Doesn't matter where your path is. There are six areas in life and in sports and in everything. And I can analogize it to sports because that's what people listen to me for, because I played sports and I played at this level, played here, played there, played with you, whatever. But there's things about life and there's things in sports that sports have taught me that can take you down a path not just ups and downs, not just winning and losing, but to get you on the path of being the best you can be. And the 6 areas, I'm going to go through them pretty quick. I don't have to expand on them, but I can go through them pretty quick. And that's your skill, your endurance, your speed, your conditioning, your diet, and your rest. Now, when I say them, people think, oh, you just got to get better at doing your skill for your sport, or get ready get better condition for your sport, or eat the right things for your sport. No, incorporate that into your being or your existence of what you're doing, whatever you're doing. You have a show now, your skill at doing this show. What do you do? What do you need to do? What do you need to learn? What are you learning as you do this? What skills can you improve on to have a better show next time?
Right.
What can you do to be better? What can you physically do? What can you physically think? Okay, your speed, because number one, your skill is going to be the big thing. That's going to make the difference. I don't care what you're doing. If you play sports, if you don't play sports, whatever you can do at a better skill than the next person is going to separate you. It's going to make you a good person to be able to do that. Skill, endurance. Your endurance is how long can you do that skill? Okay, how long can you do that skill that you're doing it? Okay, we're older. Okay, we're not the young whippersnappers we used to be. There's things I can't do now with my body. Okay, then you're going to have your speed. How fast can you do that? How fast can you think? How fast can you go from thinking about it to getting it done? How fast can you make things happen? How fast can you overcome things? How fast can you make something be the way you need it to be? Yeah, I've been in a lot of situations. I've been in things where I don't know what's on the other side. I don't know. But I do know what I know is that I'm going to try to do what I need to do here, not to put anybody down, not to go through anybody, not to make anybody feel anything. I'm going to probably along my way try to encourage people to do whatever they need to do too. I want the best for everybody, not just me. I know that if I help people, I will be able to help myself with that. So skill, endurance, speed, conditioning, your diet. And I talk about diet this way. Your diet isn't just what you eat physically about just for your body, okay? Your diet is, what do you ingest? What do you take in every day? I know people eat food every day, but what do you read? What do you listen to? I'm on yours, champions.
Yeah.
Champions. And what does that mean to you? What does that mean when you hear that? It doesn't just stop if you don't play a sport. Champions.
Right, exactly.
What do people think of when they hear Chuck Bushbeck, or when they remember Chuck Bushbeck, the relationships you have? Be a champion relationship maker.
Yeah.
Be a champion. And those things are important. And then you, after it's all said and done, the last thing is going to be your rest. To reflect, to get your rest, to ponder where you're going, to look, to see what's coming up and what you want to do. Well, what's the legacy you're trying to leave? So,
well, I'll tell you what. We usually ask for 1 or 2 tips. You gave us 6, so I appreciate that because the things that you're mentioning are all the things that go into making a champion. You know, you all the different things that go on in life that you have to master. But before I let you go, where can people find you? Can you give us some information on that?
Well, it is AG360. And that is 360 in the way you go about things, a full circle going around, okay? It's never going from one point to another. You are just going around the circle. And you can go to ag360training.com, ag360training.com. And there you will get more information on it. Or you can call me at 412-345-3337.
And you'll get back to them.
And of course I will. Leave a message. I'd like to hear from you, see what you think, because I train young kids here, and it's the experience.
Yeah.
It's the experience, Chuck. You know that.
Anthony, thank you. I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We've always had a great relationship. After all these years, we can still talk like this, but your story, although somewhat comical the way you tell it, is inspiring. It's something that your work ethic has brought to you, and you deserve everything that is coming to you. And I want to thank you for working with the kids that you do now. You're an inspiration to them, obviously, and God knows we need that in the world right now.
Well, Chuck, I appreciate it. Appreciate being on the show. Appreciate just getting with you again. And I'm looking forward to seeing you some point in person around some food.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years. Yeah, around some feud. And that is going to do it for today. My good buddy Anthony Griggs. I would like to thank my producer, Joe Lee, sitting next to me. Does a phenomenal job for us here. Our executive producers, Jim Sims and CJ DeRoma. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page and consider supporting us on Patreon at the link in the description. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chuck. Looking forward to it.
All right.